What's up, y'all? It's Dom. Today we're talking about the A74 leaks, rumors, what to expect in the upcoming announcement from Sony, and what I'm hoping they change. Let's get into it. So I just got the email today that Sony is officially announcing new products later in October. I was an early adopter of the A73. I was coming off an A7R2 at the time, and I just thought for $2,000, the A7III kind of delivered everything at that moment. I'm not going to talk about what this camera does well. I'm kind of going to talk about what it does poorly and what I'm hoping is upgraded in the A74. But I will say I've owned this camera for about 3 years now, and I have over 100,000 actuations on it. It's been nothing but reliable, and I still love it. I'm actually not selling it, even if all of the A74 leaks and rumors are true. But let's get into those right now. First rumor, and easily the most predictable and probably the most accurate, is the jump from 24 megapixels to 33 megapixels in the new A74. Now, I didn't have very many complaints with 24 megs in the A73. In fact, I really liked it. But I did hear some friends that, shooting astrophotography, landscape, and even some weddings, that data would run thin in post if you're cropping in. I'm one to try to get it as right as I can in body, so I don't do a lot of cropping in post. 30 to 35 megapixels, I think that is the sweet spot. That's the ideal spot for my camera to come in. The other rumors that I'm seeing are 15 stops of dynamic range and 5.5 stops of image stabilization in body for the A74. Both of those are really welcome upgrades. And when I'm looking at image quality for cameras, the number one thing I'm looking at is dynamic range and the ability to maneuver things like shadows and highlights in post in raw files. The more you can move those around and the more flat of a profile you could shoot and then bring out that data in post and not lose it, that's when you get really flexible files that you can get really beautiful images from. Can't wait to test it out, that and in-body image stabilization, to see if those numbers are accurate. Another crucial upgrade we're going to see, easily predictable, and I'm very excited for, is the fully articulating touchscreen in the A74. Now, this is the ZVE10. What I'm shooting on is the A7S3. Those both have fully articulating touchscreens, and it's something that after I started using those cameras, I realized was greatly missing in the A7III. So with the flip out screen and heat seek of the A7III, we're probably gonna have zero overheating issues in the A74, even at the rumored 4K 60 frames per second slow motion. Love that upgrade. That's a big thing missing from the A73. You had to drop down to 1080 to get any type of slow motion. So love that you got that in the A74. All right, some other leaks that we see is the A74 is gonna have the upgraded autofocus system, similar to the A7S3. I absolutely love that, and it's a big jump from the A73. I use these cameras side by side. When I'm pulling them out, I see a huge difference, tangible, noticeable difference in the autofocus system in the A7S3. It's faster, it's more accurate, and most importantly, it locks on and stays locked on the intended subject without it jumping off and hunting and then coming back. A73 isn't bad by any means, but it's a noticeable difference with the new autofocus system. The other thing I'm really excited for is the updated color science, and most importantly, the updated menu system. No, menu system, whatever, it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but for us older Sony shooters, we understand how frustrating it is and how stupid you look when you're sitting on site trying to find how to turn off the beep on your camera and you can't find it, so you have to Google it. Glad the new menu system is here. Probably going to see a new processor, newer internal computing capabilities. We haven't read much on that, but I'm judging from the 4K 60 and other specs that we're going to see newer, faster processing speeds, and that is fantastic. Pairing that with the new UHS 2 card slots and CF Express Type A, although I hate those, they're such a ripoff still. But the faster card slots, probably gonna get faster burst modes, lower buffering, and those type of things. So I'm really excited for that. I did see on one side that they say the burst mode's gonna jump from 20 frames per second to 30 frames per second. That's a pretty big jump, 33% jump, 50% jump, my math sucks. I'm hoping it's blackout free. That would be really sweet. I really like blackout free burst shooting, especially in weddings, and I like silent burst shooting because it just allows you to get so much more intimate, fast details and you don't miss your shot. Now, when talking about physical design, I saw some rumors which I was really excited about. The A73 does have a nice grip and it's nice size, but I wouldn't mind if they made it a little bit bigger to the body of the A7S3. The grip on that is noticeably more comfortable for me. It's subjective. It is a little bit bigger and deeper, so I get a better grip and I feel a little bit more comfortable, especially with heavier lenses on the front. If I'm shooting with like a 70 to 200, it's much more comfortable to have that lens on the A7S3 than the A73. So I'm really hoping they go to that physical design, although it is a little bit bigger and bulkier. Another thing I haven't seen on any rumor site, but I'm really hoping for, is I would love the inboard mics that are built into the ZV-1 and the ZV-E10. I'd love to see that on the A7 IV, although I don't have my hopes up because there's not much room for it when looking at the A7 III. But I would love that. I love those internal mics. And if this is going to be something like a YouTube camera or an all-around vlogger for some people, those onboard mics make it really, really nice. In the least, I would love to see the multifunctional hot shoe so that you could throw on a mic and have it wirelessly connected. What are my complaints with the A7 III and what am I really hoping for in the A7 IV? Well, from the leaks, it seems like they've really nailed all of my main complaints. I do have one more. I don't want to see a mini HDMI anymore. I want to see a full-size HDMI. I would like longer battery life. I'm hoping, you know, the internals and the processor and efficiency adds for longer battery life. I would like that. But overall, if we have a flip screen, better in-body image stabilization, and 4K 60, I mean, I can't ask for much else than that. Low light capability is already fantastic in the A7 III. Let's talk about the Sony Line now. And if you are new or jumping into a full frame Sony camera, will this A7 IV be the best bet for you? And I almost think Sony might be cannibalizing some of their business if they do come out with all these specs and if they're accurate, because now if I have an A7 IV and it's 33 megapixels, do I need all the extra features and extra megapixels and extra photo capabilities that are in the A7R line? I'd say for 90% of photographers, no, unless you're having very niche photography like astrophotography or something like that. Or, I mean, even if you're shooting like billboard type stuff where you need to really blow up, I can do that with 33 megapixels. So A7 IV really for photography is a fantastic option. And for the video side of things, if the A7 IV can do 4K 60 now, good image stabilization, you know, I don't know if it's gonna have 10-bit 422. I don't know if you need 10-bit 422. That may be the differentiating factor between the A7S III and the A7 IV. But even still, do you need all of the ability of the A7S III? If you're shooting YouTube and vlog type stuff and even wedding videos, no, I don't think you do. You could get away with the A7 IV specs. And if that's the case, then the A7 IV is a much better camera because you can use it for photos as well. And you have the flexibility that you don't have with the A7S III, and you're saving $1,000. So really, A7 IV could be the best overall camera on the market when it drops. So in conclusion, for 2,500 bucks, do you get the A7 IV? Absolutely, it's kind of a no-brainer. If this is your main full frame, you know, daily shooter or professional shooter, A7 IV is going to be a fantastic option. Really, the question is, do you want to sacrifice flexibility for more niche professionalism like the A7S and A7R lines offer you? But more and more, I'm seeing that those lines are becoming less and less relevant when you can get the A7 IV that can do 80% to 90% of all the things that those cameras are going to be able to do. And now you can do both. For me, I would love to see the A7 IV come in at like 22, 2300. I think that would be justified in comparison to the A7 III, but kind of everything with inflation is going up and a chip shortage. I understand if they're going to have to come in at 25. If you're pushing more like 27 to 3 grand, I'm probably going to think twice about really, do I need this camera? Is it that much of an upgrade from now 1700 at the A7 III? And am I going to use those features heavily? I just don't know if it's going to justify that price point. So that's all I got for this preview video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit me with a thumbs up. Subscribe for more awesome videos. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be picking up an A7 IV. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll hit you up when the camera gets officially released and I have my hands on it. Talk to you later. Peace.